I've been taking some heat lately. A few weeks ago, I published a free book that you can download from my website called How Nearly Anyone Can Start a Microchurch. Now, that set off a flurry of upset people, upset that, well, what if just any old person wants to leave our church and go plant a microchurch without my permission? Well, if they're that kind of person, you ought to be glad they're gone. The other is, how can you do a microchurch if you don't have a board of elders? It's too small to have a board of elders. Show me one in the Bible. These little foxes that spoil the vine that we read about in Song of Solomon actually interfere with the harvest. Jesus said, you look around and say it's 4 months until the harvest. I'm telling you, the harvest is right now. Well, guess what? The harvest isn't too interested in you and me. 70% of Americans say that they're not religious at all. They just don't care. And what we're doing is we're playing musical chairs with the harvest that's already in the barn. You start a new church, you blow a lot of money making a big marketing campaign, and what are you trying to do? You're trying to suck the disgruntled people out of the other churches. We're missing the boat as far as the harvest is concerned, and a lot of it has to do with these little legalisms that creep in and that are the foxes that spoil the harvest. Do you know that in 2012, 19% of the people in the United States, this is the harvestable part of the harvest, 19% said, I'm spiritual, I'm interested in God, but I'm not religious, I'm not interested in your church. That number in 5 years, up to 2017, went up by almost 50%. Now 27% say, I'm interested in God, I ain't interested in you folks. So what are we going to do about that? Well, one of the things that we got to do is recognize we got a problem. We're asking these people to be the missionaries, the outsiders. They got to come to us. We're supposed to be the missionaries going to them. But, these kind of issues, these little legalisms that interrupt the way that we do things, how do we view people who are recently divorced? Do you have something that says, oh, you're not allowed to go to a bar because that's in your ecclesiology, that's your denomination telling you can't do that? I was recently with a bunch of people and we're talking about reaching out, and I'm saying, you might, if you're going to really evangelize your neighbors, you might need to drink a lot of coffee or drink a lot of beer, and woo, the reaction, because drinking beer is like verboten in this group. But well, what's the deal about beer and alcohol? The Bible says don't get drunk with wine, and turns around and says drink a little wine for your stomach's sake. We have taken cultural things, the whole alcohol thing probably goes back to the days of the Prohibition. We have made nonsense into ecclesiology, and we've made it into legalisms that bind us in our lives and bind us from reaching those people who are most reachable in the harvest today that Jesus died for and he loves very dearly. The question that I have for you is, what legalisms have invaded your life? What little foxes are spoiling the harvest that's all around you? And what are you going to do about it?